Welcome to the Business for London Creating Your 3-Month Content Plan video. In this video, we're going to cover content strategy and mix, when to consider investing in advertising, what type of content to create, and that will include content such as gated content, strategy for your website, the importance of customer experience. Then we'll go on to talk about creating your 3-month content plan, analytics in order to test and measure what you're doing, and then some other useful tools that you'll find really helpful for your digital marketing. So before we start, you really need to understand your target audience. You need to understand what ticks their boxes. You need to know what it is about your product or your service that helps them solve their problems. What problems are you actually solving via your product or service? You should know where your target audience are online. Are they consumers? Are they business owners? You should really know what motivates your customers to buy from you. And also, for those who are buying from your competitors, you need to understand what motivates them to buy from them instead of you. You need to think about your digital marketing tools and select them based on where your target market are likely to be online. If you're a company that sells to other businesses, you're probably going to use something like LinkedIn to increase brand awareness with the type of content that informs, content that leads people, leadership type content, empowering content, content that asks questions of your community on LinkedIn. You'll need content, you'll need detailed ebooks, blog posts, webinars, podcasts, video content. And then you need to think about how often you're going to create your content. You're also going to need to think about whether you'll have any offline channels. Offline channels are things like face-to-face networking. If you're writing detailed content or producing detailed videos, for example, you're going to need to distribute your content via social media channels. You might want to link to your content. With video content, you might load it onto YouTube and you might embed it into your website, for example. A business-to-business company might say something like, I'm going to choose a number of verticals for connection requests. Verticals are industries essentially. So for example, you might say, I want to connect with all the tech companies in London or all the auto companies in London. The first message will be light, and then you'll probably try to strike up a conversation in order to nurture them. Offer them some help, for example. At some point in the process, you may offer them something like an ebook, which is called gated content, or you may ask them to take part in a survey. The purpose of this is to try to get them onto an email marketing list so that you can keep in touch with them. Now, paid advertising is something that larger companies tend to use, but even smaller companies can sometimes make use of it. It's known as pay-per-click, and it includes things like Google AdWords, Facebook adverts, and boosted posts. One thing to bear in mind about paid advertising is that it can be effective, but it can also be very costly. Paid advertising does not impact your organic search engine optimization at all. So once you pay for an advert, at the point at which you stop, then all the benefits of paying for it disappear instantly. As I say, many companies use paid advertising in order to try and get in front of their prospects. Just so you know, if you do use paid advertising, it will come up in a Google search or on Facebook or wherever you're advertising as a sponsored ad. Now, gated content is another thing that many companies use. It's estimated that as much as 80% of business-to-business content marketing assets are gated. And gated content is simply unavailable until the prospect gives you some information. Marketers use gated content to generate leads, and to do this, they provide valuable, really useful information in exchange for things like their name, their email address, possibly their industry, their title, and any other contact information that they might find useful. One thing to bear in mind, if you're providing gated content like a download or a giveaway, only collect the data that you need to on the form that you ask people to sign up to get the gated content. If you don't need any more than their first name and their email address, then don't ask for it. The way you use gated content is to attract, first of all, by creating an interest and need. This type of content might be educational content, such as hot topic blog posts, ebooks, webinars, and podcasts, for example. This is the type of content that assists customers with their pain points. Things like how-to, cheat sheets, the types of content that help your prospects to solve their problems. They will include calls to action. The calls to action encourage downloads of the gated content to get further information about the lead. So in other words, you would take someone to a form that was connected to email marketing software. You would ask them for their details, their name, their email address, and possibly some other information that you might need. And then an automated email gets sent with a link to the download or information on how they can get the free giveaway. You now have the prospect's information, in particular their email address, and you can keep in touch with them with tailored emails using email marketing. And it's a very effective way of nurturing prospects towards becoming customers. There are some great email marketing systems around. MailChimp is one of them, and it's one that we show you on this program. Email marketing software includes automated campaigns and analytics to tell you who's opening your emails, how many times they're opening your emails, which links they're clicking on from your emails, and then you can send more tailored emails to those particular prospects. Email software must comply with GDPR, so people must opt in order to receive emails from you or to receive content from you, such as downloads. And they also include things like sign-up forms and list management, which is management of those people that have been added to your list. And of course, one of the most important things about email marketing software is that users can unsubscribe. And once they unsubscribe, you cannot add them back into the email marketing list. Now, websites are also very important in our digital marketing strategy. Our websites need to be looked after. It's not as simple as building a website and then leaving it alone. We must look after it. We must make sure that the speed of our websites are as fast as possible, that there are no errors, no broken links. And if you want to know how healthy your website is right now, you can use this link on the screen. Interestingly, this is exactly what I was just talking about in terms of nurturing via a free giveaway. This is a HubSpot lead magnet, and it's a piece of gated content essentially. They're asking you for your website address and your email address. Then they will send you a personalized score for your website. But guess what? HubSpot now have your email address, and they can keep in touch with you unless you unsubscribe. And HubSpot is an excellent marketing system. It costs quite a lot of money. And so you may say, well, why would they want to put small businesses on their email marketing list? Well, they don't know who you work for. You may work for a large company. And of course, by keeping in touch with you over a period of time, your business may grow and you may well be able to purchase part of HubSpot's offering, or even at some point buy their entire system. Websites also need a search engine optimization strategy. They need keywords, they need page titles, they need keywords in page descriptions. You need to use heading styles such as heading 1 and heading 2 styles. When you upload your images, they should be named using keywords. And you should add into the SEO part of your website alternative text for images, again using keywords. You should link between your pages, and also you want to try to acquire backlinks from what we call authoritative sites such as suppliers or even your local authority if that's a possibility. Of course, you can also get backlinks from online business directories such as your Google Business Profile. Now, one of the most crucial aspects of the success of a business in the short term and of course in the long term is to offer fantastic customer experience. All companies should have a strategy to collect feedback from their customers and have regular touch points to make sure that everything's going well if you have customers that are with you for a long period of time. And if you do get bad feedback, don't ignore it. It's very important to address any issues as you go and make sure that customers are as happy as possible at all times during their interaction with you. And the reason for this, of course, is that happy customers will not only stay or not only return for more business, they'll also tell other people how fantastic their experience has been with you. Now, there's quite a lot to a digital marketing strategy. Many companies find it quite overwhelming with the amount of content they have to create in this day and age. Creating a 3-month plan can be very, very beneficial. It can keep you focused and it can help you get things ready in advance so that you don't miss anything. If you're a florist and you forget that it's Valentine's Day on the 14th of February, it's going to be an issue. So you need to plan for any key events in your calendar, industry events, important dates, Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, depending on what your business is. You may be able to tap into these events or you may need to make sales around these events. You can use a spreadsheet, which is something similar to the one I've got here. And we'll be providing you with a copy of this particular template via the Business for London website. And this one simply says, based on 3 months, the events that you're attending, any projects you're working on, if your blog posts are going to be based on any of these things that you're doing, any useful articles that you might want to refer to, if you're doing an email to clients or to prospects, and what you might be posting on each channel. I've also included community building activities because of course it's important to keep following people, to keep connecting with people. You can't just follow a few people and then just leave that alone. And then statistics. It's important to know what's happening on your profiles. It's important to know what's happening on your website so that you know whether what you're working on is having any traction. You can do a similar thing with something like Trello. Trello is a system that you can access online. It's a free system that you can sign up for. And Trello works on the basis of having boards. If I create a new board here and call it my digital marketing plan, and I create that, I can add lists, and my list could be called each month of the year. And I add a list, and then for each list I have a card, and the cards are going to be my tasks for the month. So if I do February for this one, okay, and there we go, and then I could do March there. So if I add a card, I can say I want to do email to prospects, for example. Add that card, and each card, when I go into it here, I can edit it, and I can do things like add a checklist. I can put a good description. So this is my email to prospects, and I'm going to add a checklist. I'm going to save that, add my checklist. And so on my checklist, I can say things like write email in my software, based on my latest blog post. Add images and links to email. Test email by sending to myself. And as you can see, I now have a series of tasks that I need to complete in order to send my email for January. And similarly, as I would do on this particular Excel spreadsheet, I can map out my tasks using Trello in the same way. There's a lot more to Trello than I've shown you. I highly recommend, if you're interested in trying it out, that you sign up for an account and give it a go. Now, at every stage of our marketing, we have to ask the question, has the content that we've created met its objectives? So for example, if we're doing pay-per-click, are we getting leads through our paid adverts? If we're improving the search engine optimization on our websites, is it bringing us more traffic? If we're creating blog posts and we're linking to them from social media, are people clicking through to read our blog posts in full? When we send out our emails to our prospects or our customers, are they opening them? You ideally want an open rate for emails between 25 and 30%. Who's opening your emails? Are they clicking on the links in your emails to read the blog post in full, for example? Are you getting likes, comments, and shares on your social media posts? Are you getting comments on your YouTube videos? You need to look at all of this on a regular basis to make sure that you know what's working and what isn't. Every single platform, whether it's social media, your website, or other platforms such as YouTube, they all have their own analytics built in. And it's really important that you check these on a monthly basis. There are many other tools that will help you with your digital marketing. Answer the Public, for example, is a great keyword research tool. It will tell you the searches that people are typing in to search engines in order to find your services or products. Buffer and Hootsuite are great scheduling tools, and there are many others available that you may prefer to use. As you generate leads, you may want to invest or find yourself a free CRM, customer relationship management system. Insightly is one. These can be quite complicated though, so sometimes I recommend that people just start with a spreadsheet that tracks the leads, where they came from, whether they're hot, whether they're cold. You can even color code them. When are you going to follow up if you need to follow up with a prospect? All of that information needs to be tracked. It needs to be managed, and you may even want to just use your calendar on your phone, for example, to make sure that you don't forget to follow up. If you send a proposal to a prospect, always follow up by phone or by text. Sometimes you send emails with a proposal and they can end up in someone's spam folder. You don't want to find out later on that because you didn't follow up, that actually your proposal was never received and you missed an opportunity. Scheduling tools are a great option for scheduling social media posts so that you're not doing things in a knee-jerk way and you can think things through and schedule things in advance. As I mentioned, Buffer or Hootsuite are great options as a place to start. Social media channels themselves now, such as Facebook, also have the option to schedule on the platform themselves. So if you prefer to do it that way, that's fine too. The important thing to remember though is that none of this is an overnight fix. Nurturing prospects towards becoming customers of yours can take time. It may take time to nurture them, to get them to download something, to get them interested in what you're selling. The important thing is to remember it is about strategically marketing in a very consistent way. Planning will always help with this. Our digital marketing efforts must concentrate on providing the digital assets that our target market wants and needs. We must help them solve their problems with the content that we're providing. We must stay in front of them on a regular basis so they don't forget about us when they actually need our products or services. Just remember too that even if someone sees something that they're interested in, it doesn't mean that they're going to buy it straight away. The idea is that you bring people through the marketing funnel, nurturing them with great content that brings them ever closer to making a decision to buy from you. Thank you.